Hi, folks. So, my website is paranormalprofessional.com. You can go to the bottom of that and send me an email. There's a request on there, or you can leave a comment on here. I'm looking for, I have a lot of people who reach out with this information and their encounters and their experiences, but if you have had an alien encounter of any kind, abductions, um, anything with werewolves slash dogmen, otherworldly orbs, if you've had life or death experiences, vampire experiences, that's been really interesting documenting EVPs about that. EVPs are electronic voice phenomena, in other words, seance, speaking to, it could be aliens, ghosts, other beings, dark beings. I've seen it all. I've got pictures of every one of those beings published. I've published 13 books with evidence from crafts in the sky to when my daughter and I saw what we now know is referred to as a dogman when we lived in the mountains of Colorado, and we lived in 3 houses there, and then on my ranch in Texas. There was a few things in the swamplands of New Orleans over the years, but I never really wrote about those. There's been a lot of interesting truth coming out to the public with these things. Oh, also, I am making a playlist on this channel, my channel, Emilia Bussey, X-Files, of things I'm watching and learning from podcasts and testimonies, because it makes me feel a lot less alone. And, my 30 plus year journey on this road, and yes, I can document EVPs, paragraphs, all day long, all night long, anywhere. I've done it across 48 states. A lot of footage I've never posted. Much of it I put into documentaries as I was learning how to do that. Much of it was seen on live streams, which I still have. But it costs money to store these things, so I go at the pace I can afford when when I'm sharing it. But when it's my own journey, it is daily, and I live in Massachusetts. I live in the home I own, an 1800s Victorian Gothic revival haunted house. So it's been an interesting life, to say the least. But, I've spent my time sharing with, many people. I've really kind of shied away from the paranormal community. Many of my clients, some that they've gotten actual movie deals because the rights to their experiences, their stories were bought. There's some articles that have released. I'm waiting on phone calls still to this day in regards to that. So there's a lot of stuff coming, but my personal, in my heart, I care about the real deal, the real people, not like, the people on TV, cool, it is what it is. But this is every day for me, so I really care about what all of you have to say, what you have to share. If you have questions about your encounters, let's utilize this skill and, knowledge and gift that I have to communicate with these otherworldly beings through just recording them. And, and I use a holy light and all this stuff. It's definitely a process and a lot of prayer and things like that, which I is much more in depth than I care to touch base on today. Oh my gosh, it's been for over 30 years. So, with me, you're not going to be called crazy. We can investigate it, go into it. I work with my clients and friends and acquaintances for years, and we never are the same after things we discover and the many documentations, that we compile at the end of a chapter as we go on into the new chapter of this reality, which does consist of supernatural phenomenon. So anyways, if you have a story, let me know, because I would like to, if you want to share it with me privately, I'd be honored. If you want to come forward and we share the story, kind of like a podcast, but we'll just, just record it, share it. I've got quite a few people from over the past several years who are ready to come forward with things that we documented within hospitals and rough terrains, pilots, Air Force, commercial, military, whistleblowers, officers, first responders. I'm also a certified first responder. I'm a lot of things, but you see a lot. You see a lot when you start to acknowledge the truth. You change. We change every year, every couple months. A lot can happen. So, anyways, please feel free to reach out to me. We can do something public. We can do something private. I just want to find others like myself. So, werewolves / dogmen is what I'm really honing in on right now. So, I will be releasing a lot of stuff, including EVP seance sessions about that. And obviously extraterrestrial life forms and their intellect and things like that, their concerns for the world. There's so many correlations tethered together with all of that. And then, there's the strange stuff, like vampires, which is interesting because that kind of goes back into a lot of cults, like dark ones, which is really just interesting stuff. Again, I'll be adding one of those to the playlist that I'm making of things I'm watching, so you can watch along with me. And if I reference it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, my cat is playing with its alien. Hold on a second. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. What are you doing? What are you doing, huh? What are you doing? Are you playing with your alien? This was for my birthday. My loved ones decorated my office, and she likes to run around with them. Yeah, she's so cute. This right here, I don't know if y'all would ever be interested in it. Here, zoom this back out. These are all haunted objects that all have stories behind them from across the nation. Let's see, there's a old DR60 still in the package. That's just an antique vampire hunting kit, but there's actually some cool stuff in there. And then stuff from New Orleans and more New Orleans and Ouija boards. I got some videos on that, actually, of picking those up in Massachusetts and some other places, and some things from Washington. And, Debbie Moffat's stuff, which is, let's see, it's up there on the top and everything. And a lot of things y'all have seen on, these documentaries that I've been just, producing over the years. Just basically record everything and upload it and talk about, how it all came to be. But anyway, so what I'd like to do is, start hearing your stories and know what you all would, like to hear. So this is raw. I'm just putting it out there real quick. This isn't an EVP session or anything, but please feel free to reach out to me, and have a blessed day.